Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fauzi Irawanto. So now I will explain about an analysis of a short story titled A Story of Robin Hood. This story is written by James Baldwin, an author from New York. The first thing that I analyze is important plot details. It consists of exposition, rushing action, climax, falling action, and denouement. In the exposition, in the story began when the author explained the general description of the story's content. The exposition starts at the first paragraph. In the rude days of King Richard and King John, there were many great woods in England, until he was always kind to the poor, and he often sent help to them. And for that reason, the common people looked upon him as their friend. The last sentence in fourth paragraph. That paragraph is included into exposition because it explains the general description of the story's content. And then, rising action. Rising action began when the story started to tell about Robin Hood, the personality of Robin Hood. In this story, rising action starts in long after he was dead. Men liked to talk about his deeds in paragraph 5 until Robin said, I will not trouble him, for I think he is on his way to his wedding. In paragraph 9, this paragraph is included into the rising action because the problems in the story have begun to appear. And then climax. The climax in the story began when Robin meets a young man that he wants to rob. But apparently, the young man only had 5 shillings and a gold ring prepared for the moment. But the woman was already married with someone else by her parents. And then the young man begged not to rob the ring and promised to be Robin Hood's servants. This conflict include to the climax include to the conflict man faces himself because Robin Hood initially wanted to rob the young man, but after hear the story of the young man, Robin Hood changed his mind to help him. Then is falling action. Falling action here begins when Robin Hood disguises as a harpist and goes to the church where the woman is married. Then Robin sees that the woman totally unhappy on her wedding day. And bravely Robin asks the woman that who she really loves. Finally, the woman answers that she loves Ellen Adele, the young man. And the last thing of important plot detail is denouement. The denouement here is in the last paragraph that contains the young man finally can have the woman that he loves. It's end with happy ending. And then the second things that I analyze is point of view. In this story, the point of view is third person and omniscient. For example, the author knows that Robin never allowed his men to harm anybody but rich men who live in the big houses. And the other example is the author knows that the young man is on his way to his wedding. The third analysis is character names and traits. The first is major character. Major character in this story consists Robin Hood and the young man. Robin Hood is protagonist character because what he does is in line with the story. Robin Hood is front character because he shows some attitude or adjective in the story. Otherwise, Robin Hood also dynamic character because he actually want to rob the young man, but eventually he helped the young man. And then the young man. The young man named Elin Adele, also protagonist character. The young man is front character too, but he is static because he didn't show the change of his attitude. He just being friendly to Robin Hood and loyal and show his loyalty. And then the minor character in this story consists of the woman, the bishop, the old man, or the woman husband. And then the fourth analysis is setting. In this story, the story of Robin Hood takes place in Sherwood Forest in England, and the time is in the rude days of King Richard and King John. The social settings in this story is Robin Hood and the young man is in the same position. They are poor people. The next analysis is symbols. In this story, the symbols is the gold ring and forest. The gold ring, it means the long term of commitment and loyalty. The young man was willing that the woman that he loves marry with the old man. But in the end, the woman was also not willing to marry an old man that she didn't love. But she also loved that young man. And the forest means take place of Robin Hood as a place to live and hide. And then the next analysis is theme of the story. The theme of this story is telling about courage because in the beginning until the end of the story explain about the courage of Robin Hood. The seventh analysis of this story is example of literary elements. This is a flashback story that retells about the life of Robin Hood while he is still alive. The figurative language in this story are to irony, assonance, and simile. The irony is when Robin Hood talked with the poor young man, "What will you give me, gold or fee?" said Robin. So that question can be a satire. And then, when Robin Hood see the old man and the pretty woman walk together, then he said, "This is not match." And then the next figurative is assonance. The assonance example in this story is they were dressed in green and armed with bows and rose. It has similar sound in two words. And then simile. The simile in the story, for example, is he seemed as happy as the day. It states to comparison between two things. The next analysis is opinion. In my opinion, this story is very inspiring considering the courage and generosity of Robin Hood to the poor. Besides that, I also agree with the treatment of Robin Hood on the young man. He has helped the young man to marry the woman he loves. The writer pours the language that is very easy for the reader to understand. The storyline used is also very chronological and easy for the readers to digest. The last analysis is connection with anything. in my opinion, this story is a true story but in ancient times, that it made to commemorate someone who is very generous. And this story also made into a film in the 2000s. Okay, that's all for me. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, you can like, share, and subscribe this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.